Hey there, audio friends. Welcome back to the channel. Got a wonderful headphone review for you today. We are talking about the HE1000 SE. And I got to tell you, this has got to be one of my favorite headphones of all time that I've tried. Let's dig into it. Okay, so first off, what does this thing come with, right? If you've seen any of the Hifiman stuff before, the upper tier Hifiman stuff, you're going to know kind of what this comes with. Got a really cool box here, leather wrapped, metal insert with some etching on it. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's not fantastic as far as build goes. It's just like cardboard that's wrapped. But, it's a nice presentation all in all. I don't think this is something that you're going to use after you open it up. But it does look cool sitting on the shelf, right? This does come with cables. I suppose we got to get this out of the way. These are probably better than, the old HE1000 cables, which were like surgical tubing, but it still is like not great. It's a braided cable, but it feels like very rubbery still, and you can see like the shape is kind of a mess. It comes with an XLR, and it comes with a regular 3.5 with an adapter. I did use these a little bit, but I don't like them. I'm going to link down below to some other cables that I think are they're economical and they just are much better to work with. Okay, so outside of that, let's look at the headphone, right? And largely this is unchanged if you've seen the previous HE1000. I owned the V2 for quite a while. Love that headphone as well. If we're looking at this guy, it looks very similar. Leather suspension strap, right? Typical egg-shaped Hifiman. Wood grain inserts here. I would say this is a little bit nicer than the previous ones that I've seen. 3.5 millimeter jacks, where the V2 I think was 2.5. At least the one I had was 2.5. I think maybe they had an updated version that was 3.5. Swiveling cups. I mean, it's just kind of typical Hifiman egg build, but that is not a bad thing at all. These are lightweight headphones. They're super comfortable to wear. I can wear these all day long, no issues at all. I love this build. I love the comfort. I am a big fan of these headphones with this head strap system. So I think that's probably all we need to cover as far as build goes. I mean, I really think they look nice and feel nice. I'm a big fan, okay? I am also a big fan of the sound of these, and why I think I really like these over some of the other Hifiman stuff is just these have such a natural feel to them when it comes to like how they present spatial information. I mean, the timbre is good, but it's really that like spatial and information and the dimensionality of the music that really sells these headphones. I mean, of course, they've got a really great amount of detail to them. Lots of texture throughout the entire frequency response. I find it really hard to knock these guys. I think they sound just really, really good, just spot on, honestly. And I think what makes it special compared to some of the other like planar magnetic offerings is this is not an amp picky headphone at all. It's actually super easy to drive, and it sounds great on everything. I've used it a ton with my Topping G5 on Bluetooth. Sounds fantastic with that, although maybe not, the best spatial information doing it that way. But my Element 3 sounds fantastic. I currently have the Sparkos Labs Gemini that they sent out for review, which will be coming up here before too long. Sounds fantastic with that hybrid tube amp. I used them a lot with the FIO R7 that I reviewed a little while ago. They sound good with literally everything. I even was using them with the Moondrop Dawn Pro, like that little like $50 dongle, and they sounded fantastic. So they are not difficult to drive, and that's what makes these so compelling, because I really think like these headphones. So here's the deal. Right now, Hifiman just released the unveiled HE1000s. Those are retailing for somewhere around like $2,700. These guys, which I think were, I don't know what they were to begin with, maybe around $2,000, maybe a little bit more than that. They are discounted right now on Hifiman's site for less than $1,200. Okay, so I'm telling you here, I've tried Lots and lots of fantastic headphones over the last few years. Some of them ranging up into, Susvara, $5,000, some Abyss stuff, right? Like some of the higher end Odyssey stuff. I've tried tons and tons and tons of headphones. When I had the HE1000 V2, I thought that competed pretty well with the rest of that stuff. And it was around, I think I bought it for $1,500 or so. This is now new from Hifiman, less than $1,200 for these guys. And I think it sounds better than the V2. So I am telling you right now, this is serious endgame material, and it's not amp picky, and it costs less than $1,200. I do not hesitate to recommend these to you. I am a huge fan. I think if you're spending more than $1,200 on headphones at this point in time with this on the market at that price, and some of the ZMF stuff that you can get like used at that price, boy, I mean, you got to be looking for something super, super specific if you're going to do better. I mean, this gets you 95% of the way to anything else I've ever heard that costs 2-3 times as much. So I don't know. I think they're fantastic, and I think you should seriously take a look at them. Again, the reason why these are so compelling, besides just they sound fantastic and they're super comfortable, is that they are not amp picky. You can literally use whatever amp and DAC that you have right now, assuming you have an amp and DAC, right? Like, assuming you have something, you're not going to have to run out and upgrade right away. Is that to say that these won't scale with something better? I don't think that's true at all. Like I said, I love them with the Element 3, but I'm running the Sparkos Labs Gemini, which is about $1,000 hybrid tube amp right now, and I think it really wakes these up and just makes them a little more interesting. With the Element 3, they sound clean and simple, but like the Gemini brings them really to life. So I think there's some room there that you can play as well. But again, seriously, pair these up with something in the $500 range for a DAC amp or a stack, and you are good to go. Yeah, huge fan. So, I don't know. What do you think? Is there something else on the market that competes with this for $1,200? I think those things would be few and far between, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, if you have some suggestions on what people should take a look at, feel free to drop those down below. I'm got to thank Hifiman for sending these out for review. They didn't, ask me to say anything specific. They just said, review them and send them to me. So I'm grateful for that. And, Hifiman, if you're listening, keep up the great work. I think at every price point, you guys have something on the market that is just super, super compelling and very hard for other people to compete with. And, if you want to send me one of those new HE1000 unveiled, I'd love to give that a try too. So I think that's all I've got for this one. Short and sweet, but definitely not something to ignore. The HE1000 SE at its current price point. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.